Hello everyone, how's it going? Dr. Incompetent here, and let's continue our complete beginner's guide to FTL by trying a new ship. So, in the last series, we played the Kestrel all the way from Sector 1 to the flagship. Now I want to show you another ship that you'll get simply by getting to Sector 5 with the Kestrel, okay, which is the Torus. Now, the Torus is an NG ship, and it is great because it's completely different than how the Kestrel operates. The Kestrel is a really good bread and butter type of ship, very straightforward, and the Torus is a drone-based ship. There's a lot going on with it that's different and plays differently than the Kestrel, and it can be actually a little bit harder to get off the ground because of the playstyle, but hopefully in this guide we can show you the strengths and weaknesses of this ship and kind of how to build it up so that you can make headway with a drone-based ship. So what does this ship differ or start with, all right, compared to our good friend the Kestrel? So right away we have two NG crew that we start with, and remember in the previous video we discussed that the NG are excellent at repairing, okay? Their repair speed is doubled, but they're terrible in combat. So what this tells us, in one way, is that we have to be wary of getting boarded with the Torus because we're going to be bad against that. Now, we do have a human pilot, okay? So we do have one human on board who's like average, but that is something to consider, all right? Now, other things to look at with this ship are the layout is different. So you'll notice that the only doors to space are on the front and on this kind of top side, or the left side, I suppose, if we're calling this the front. And it's circular almost in design, so it's a little bit different to try to vent out people who board you, making boarding or venting out fires a different kind of animal with this ship that you just have to be aware of. Finally, the main differences here are in the weapon system. So instead of starting with a laser and a missile, we get an ion gun and a combat drone. So the ion gun can disable systems without causing hull damage. So it doesn't do very much damage, okay? It can damage the shield, and it can disable or basically temporarily stun a system that it hits, but the power of the ion blast is you can use it to lock down a system very effectively because it fires so fast. It has a charge time of 4 seconds, which is, outrageously fast. That's 3 times faster than the Kestrel's weapons. Like the burst laser right here is 12 seconds. The missiles are 11 seconds. So this thing will be firing all the time, which means you have to plan your strategies differently as well in terms of your auto aim, toggling this on and off, and targeting different systems more quickly. You also get a combat drone. And if you use a drone part, which you start with more drone parts with the Torus, to launch this out, it will basically, as we saw being used against us, fly around and automatically attack the enemy ship. Now, the nice thing about a combat drone is that it, attacks very rapidly and it's hard to deal with, but the downsides are can't get through a shield by itself, and you don't get to choose the system that it hits. That's probably one of the biggest adjustments with this ship, is that you don't get to focus the systems right away. So what you're going to be looking for is some kind of a laser or a missile, something that you can aim to go where you want, because you are up to the RNG gods with that combat drone, hoping it hits what you need. Finally, you get NG Medbot Dispersal as an augmentation, and this is actually pretty good. If you have a med bay, and you have to have a med bay, this doesn't work with the clone bay, and it needs to be powered, it distributes a little bit of a smaller heal. I think it's a 30% heal of what the medbay would get to every room on the ship. So even though we're weaker at being boarded, the NG Medbot Dispersal does heal everybody a little bit in whatever room they're in, as long as the medbay is powered. So that's also different, because you're going to want to maybe power that medbay a little bit more often than you would with the Kestrel. All right, so let's take this thing for a spin and see it all in action. Alright, so this is the starting screen with our Torus, and let me explain it. You're going to want to click on your weapon like normal, which is your ion cannon. You see right here, your ion blast. Now, differently, because we didn't have a drone system with the last run, drones work in the sense that you click on them to activate them. So I can't even click on the combat drone right now because there's nothing to deploy it against. It takes 2 power for combat 1. So with this loadout, I have 2 free power over here. So you see I can easily just, launch the combat drone. But every time I've used this, it takes a drone part. Now look at the top of the screen, you'll notice that I start with 16 fuel, 0 missiles, and 15 drone parts, which is actually a lot to start out. So here's our 3 crew, and we just make a determination, and yes, I want the crew in these positions, so I am going to click the Save Current Crew button to keep them here. But I am going to right-click my medbay and put all of my power into the engines. You see I'm at 15% evasion, but if I put the power here, now I go up to 20% evasion. I could still power my combat drone if I want to, and the medbay I only need to turn off if we actually need to heal the crew. So we've got 30 scrap right now, and I'm actually not going to spend that. Okay? Let's go ahead and jump. So right away, there's a store right here. But as we talked about in the last video, I really don't like going to stores until I have at least 50 scrap. And the exit is over here through a nebula. So I could do like 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't really go back for this store. It's never going to happen for us without backtracking, because of how this is laid out. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, just kind of see, 5, 6, lots of different nodes. I can actually get to the exit without passing through a nebula, and I might want to try and do that for right now. And let's go here. So it is a refugee ship, and as I always do, I hail them, and my goodness, it's a pirate. So let's continue and push space, pause the game. So they have burst laser and a beam, which not ideal, but what we can do is take them down, and we have to do that basically by launching our combat drone. So I'm immediately going to click on this, all right, and you can see there's our combat drone right here, and it's going to shoot their ship. And then I'm going to take my ion blast, and I'm just going to take down their shields. Now what you're doing with the ion blast, as you'll see, is you're just hitting their shields to disable them and stun them. This will allow your combat drone to actually do damage. So it's kind of a process of just waiting for your combat drone to kill them. Now watch this. The ion blast has already gone. All right. And there we go. We hit an empty room, unfortunately. All right. They did hit us for some damage. And they synced up. We only have 1 bubble of shield. Now, they hit our drone room, but it doesn't stop us, so we're okay. We're taking them down. But a strategy that's actually pretty good, and I'll show you this next time. Although I can immediately launch my combat drone with the Torus or any drone system, you kind of want to wait to launch your drone until their shields are down or you're firing your ion blast. And the reason for that is the combat drone attacks immediately, and it can't do anything to the shield. So if you launch it after the shield is down, you're guaranteed to get a few hits in, and it's a little bit harder to synchronize them again because this will just kind of attack on its own little timer. All right, so we're going to go ahead and just let this happen. But as you can see, all right, their shields have been damaged, and when their shields turn blue, that's from the ion. All right, so we just put their shields to blue, and we shot them. We took out their piloting, or I guess our combat drone did that. Now, okay, they missed us, so we're in good shape because of that. And as long as their shields go down, you'll see that this combat drone, it actually fires pretty rapidly. It hits pretty well. So we've taken out their O2, their piloting. They can't dodge also. That's helping us hit because the piloting is down. And now it's just a game where we're waiting on them. Here they're firing their beam, but it can't get through our shield. And you can see their doors opening as they rush to try to repair different systems. And now they're going to surrender. Now they're saying, oh my gosh, we want to surrender. But unfortunately, they're offering me 8 missiles, which I don't really care about missiles. So I'm not going to accept that offer. Alright, so we're probably going to take a little damage right here. Nope, never mind. That's the thing about these ships when they have 2 lasers. If they don't sync it right, they just won't do any damage. They did 1 damage to us when they got everything synchronized correctly, but they're dead right now. As soon as our ship fires, it's over. Alright, so while we're waiting for this, I'm just going to go ahead and send my 2 NG over. I'm just going to drag a box, select my NG, right-click on the drone bay, and we got 24 scrap and 1 missile and 1 drone part. So in all honesty, just in terms of pure scrap, their surrender offer was better if we could sell those missiles or use them, but we didn't know that, and I'll take just some raw scrap. So they're going to go over here and do this. So we'll just wait for them to fix it, and then we'll just push enter to return them to their stations. And let's jump, see if we find anything. Not yet, but I'm going to go down here. I'm not going to spend my scrap. Alright, it's a pirate, and he's attacking an outpost. So we definitely want to intervene. It's the same weapon system that we just saw. And they're not firing yet. We're going to intervene. I don't know who you are, but no one defies the rebel fleet. Alright, it's us. Alright, so we're going to put the ion blast. I'm just going to push 1 to select it. I'm going to hold control and select their shields so that I'm just auto-firing on their shields permanently. I'm going to wait to fire my drone until we take out their shield. So, okay, it's launched right now, so let's just wait and go. So, you'll see that their shield is down, and we get a couple of, yep, they hit us, and we have to actually go do something about that. That's the time when they synced up, just like before. Alright. Alright, we took one of their weapons offline. Okay. Let's just send everybody back to their stations. And now their weapons are completely destroyed. So we're locking down the shield. This is how powerful the ion is. Now, it's well within your rights. Right now, I don't really have to worry too much because these are easy ships. But if you want to micromanage this Torus more, you can, because of how fast this ion blast fires, you can take out another system and try to stun it, to disrupt it, to help you. If you think you can get back and take down the shields. I like it like this because I'm just constantly bombarding their shields so that my drone can do its work. Alright, yeah, their engines are gone. Now, for example, if you're fighting and your combat drone takes down their shields, well then definitely fire your eye on something else. Gone. So if it goes well, alright, so we get a fuel, 2 missiles, and 24 scrap. Let's hail the station. And boom, they gave us a bunch of scrap and fuel. Alright. So if it goes well with this ship, you're doing great. You just have to be patient sometimes because of the RNG. You can't always choose where you hit with that drone. So we're at a point where we can start thinking about what we might want to upgrade. Now, you know me, I love having 2 shields. So 2 shields would cost 50 plus the power, okay? Which would be 2. So we don't have quite enough, but we're really, really close. I could actually, yeah, okay, I'm going to buy it. Well, let's look at the jump menu. If there's a shop, I won't buy it. Okay, we don't see a shop just yet. All right, so I'm going to push U, and I am going to go ahead and just go 2 shields, 1 power bar, and accept. We're actually just 1 scrap away from getting the other power bar that we need, but in the short term, I'm just going to right-click engines and turn on that second shield bubble. We could still use our combat drone. All right, let's go ahead and jump. And I like to stay in the center as close to as many connections as I can. Try to scout the area out. All right, and we found a pirate investigator that is hostile. So he wants to attack. Now he's got missiles, okay? So that's obviously scary. So the missiles, unfortunately, you know, don't do anything for us. Disabled by enemy or location, huh? Interesting. We can't do much about the missile unless we want to try to lock down their weapon system, but I think we just have to take the damage. Hope they miss. And I'm going to target their shields. And as soon as this powers up, launch and let it go. Alright, we took out their engine at least. Okay, they hit us, but we... yeah, we're in great shape. So they did hit us. They hit us in the engines, but we're repairing it immediately, and we've just blasted their O2 and their engines, so we should be fine. Okay, yeah. Doing work. They're still hitting us, so I'm actually going to put my ion blast over on their weapons, like I was talking about before. Just try to stun these up a little bit. Ah, darn, they got that missile off. Ouch. That's brutal. Alright. But they're dead in 1 second. Alright. So, I'm a little sloppy on my part, a little loose, but we did it. Alright. So now, turn this back on, and I'm immediately going to go to, actually, any stores? No. I'm going to push U, open up the ship, and we're going to buy another power bar. And this allows us to get some more dodge on. And, alright. So, the fleet is way back here. We can go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Something like that. Alright. And unfortunately, they have actually, they're powering up their FTL, which is annoying. They have an anti-combat drone. So this is bad for us in a lot of ways, because we don't have another weapon. So we might have to just jump away from this and suffer the consequences. This is why you kind of want to save up some scrap to try to buy another weapon for yourself, because certain things hard counter you. So I'm going to target their drone system with my ion blast to hope that we can like paralyze this so that we can launch our own drone, because we can't do anything right now. Ouch, that's a miss. Now on the plus side, they can't really hurt us. Okay. So just gonna wait, see if we can hit them. Alright, we got them. And while their drone is paralyzed... Huh. Alright, well then never mind. I thought that if their drone system was stunned, that this wouldn't work. But we have to actually damage their system. So that's very bad for us. Now, when a drone gets shot down by this, it's gone. Alright, and what that means is we'd have to load another one. So we're not actually going to load another one. I'm not going to waste more drone parts on this combat drone. There's no getting around it. So what we have to do is just jump out of here when we get the time. Okay. They're jumping too. They'll probably actually jump before us. And that's fine. Alright. So they just jumped. Alright, so the fleet's gonna get to us faster, basically. So we need to take this inside line. You could see when this happens, this progress bar has just doubled. So normally it would be about like right here. Now it's gone over 1 extra. So that's annoying, but you'll have that sometimes. It's not that often that they have the anti-combat drone. All right, I will aid the civilian ship. All right, and it is a pirate ship with some missiles. Okay. So that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and hit their missiles, or try to hit their guns. We'll fire before they fire up, anyway. Alright, launch it. And we're just going to see if we can get lucky. Not lucky enough, apparently. Luckily, they missed us with the missile. Alright, so that's good. And I'm going to just have my ion blast come back and hit their shield. It's hit, actually. Let me hit their missile. Darn, double miss. Alright, we got hit in the shield, which is less than ideal. I'm going to run my guy over here to repair that. Alright. Yeah, we're just taking missile hit after missile hit. Finally, we hit the weapon system. But this is what's so frustrating about this particular ship, is what happens when they have missiles and you can't target their weapon system to take it down. You just have to rely on your combat drone, you know, to kind of hit the right thing. And that's not easy. There we go. But we did kill them, so there is that. Alright, we got a bunch of scrap, and we can contact the ship, and ooh, they gave us some stuff too. So that's great. So even though, you know, we're getting banged around a little bit, we still have 2 shield bubbles and an amazing amount of fuel. Alright, let's go ahead and jump. One, two, three, maybe? 1, 2, 3, 4. See what we got. Oh boy. Alright. So this is a plasma storm, which is kind of unfortunate. So we are, when you're in a plasma storm, you're at half power. So at half power, we have like no shields right now, and very, very little capability to fight. So I'm just going to avoid the risk and jump away unscathed. It's a bummer to have to waste a jump like that, but it means that we aren't in a situation where we have nothing. Alright, we're going to attack the pirate, and unfortunately the plasma storm turned off our shield, so we want to turn that back on. I'm going to target their shield. They've got lasers, so once our shields get on, we should be okay. Alright, we got the drone coming out. There we go, we took out their weapon. Alright, and their beam can't get through our second layer, so this is why getting the second shield bubble is so good. Against a ship like that, with dual laser systems, a beam and a, you know, burst, they just can't get through. So we'll just sit here and win this fight. Now they're trying to run. We're terrible at the pirating anyway, and we can let them go for these rewards or say it can't be forgiven, and it can't be. Mostly because their rewards are not good. It's a brutal game. You know, you want to be nice, but we've got the universe to save. Alright, and we ended up getting a drone part and more scrap and fuel, so fantastic. And then they're, like, you know, being practical, but they give us a reward anyway. Alright. So, we can afford to jump here and then here. Now, I have a bunch of scrap, right? So I could easily, you know, put another power into the reactor or level up something else. But I'm saving everything because there's a lot that we need. I want a weapon. Even another drone would be fine. Okay, we will never surrender one of our crew to slavers. Like, they want us to send a crew member over. As if we'd ever do that. So no way. Alright. Now, unfortunately, though, they've got the anti-combat drone. I mean, of course they do, but their weapons luckily can't hurt us. Alright, let's target their shields. Okay, and then target this. See if we can somehow, you know, disable them. Okay, this one did go down. So as long as they're stunned, I can actually hit them. Okay, good. And now this is broken. So the problem was before, I think my ion just couldn't damage their drone system enough to stop them. But this ship we can. It's not as strong of a drone system. Ah, but darn, it came back on. So there was like a little bit of a delay. So, you know, our choice is basically we could sit here and, you know, use another drone part and try to get this, but this is just a lost cause, unfortunately. Alright, now one thing we can do, though, is I can just power up the med bay and let my people heal all the way. By the way, if I haven't said this already, the ion damage does 0 damage to them. It does an ion damage, which damages the shield, but it does not do like hull damage or anything, or even damage the room. So, you know, that's definitely something to factor in. All right, let's jump away, and we'll jump here. All right. And the long-range beacon is hidden within a nebula. Okay. So we'll just wait for this to charge up and jump to the next one, because there's nothing for us here. So if we click jump, we can go to the next sector, and we can go pirate-controlled or NG-controlled. Now, it is worth noting, this is a beginner's guide, but if you want to unlock more ships, you want to go to sectors that are controlled by particular factions, and there you can look on Wikipedia, or I'm sorry, not Wikipedia, but you know, the wiki for the game, or on Google, and you will find exactly what quest you're looking for to unlock the ships and what you need to say in the dialogue options to make it happen if you're beelining for it. If not, you can just do it organically, you know, and see what happens. But I'm going to go NG controlled anyway, because I've got NGs, and I really hope that there are some favorable outcomes for us here. And we have survived the first sector. We're doing fine with this ship. We're at 2 shield bubbles, which is going to just carry us pretty strongly, but we are looking to buy some other weapon system if possible, and we'll get into that next time. Everyone, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're still finding this series to be useful and you're enjoying FTL. Take care.